Be on your program this morning. I'm highly honored. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Well, I want to ask you a general question. Your assessment of the political landscape, I guess we're, now counting the days to the election. What's your general take on the quality of, presentations by the candidates, the quality of campaign, and whether or not the various political parties are showing enough understanding of the electoral framework and guidelines and how they go about their business?
Well, I believe strongly the general assessment on the approach of 2023 presidential election and the entire general elections have brought in a new climb, a new pedestal, whereby patriotism of the citizens are much more in the fore compared to the previous elections, whereby it's more of the candidates and the citizens are not participatory. Now, 2023 election have geared a whole lot of opportunities for citizens to be more heard, and the political candidate as well have been so meticulous in presenting their manifestos, their vision, and all that. So the competition has been very robust. Either way we look at it, it's been putting everybody on their toes and to correcting heels and not taking the people for granted. And I believe either way we must see it. Every position that is being maintained are seen from different prism. So it's either you are for or you are against. So, and there's no errors in a game of election. So either how we may view it, I believe the beneficiaries of all these are Nigerians, and I must commend Nigerians being the biggest winner in this whole contest as it's still going. But we hope that insecurity and all other blockades on the road towards the 2023 elections will not impede us. We pray and hope that the day comes to fall without being postponed. That is February 25, that is 2023. We hope the presidential elections date stands sacrosanct. So we hope that becomes our hope for the country.
Well, the president has said that the election dates are sacrosanct and that, election date as well is handover on the 29th of May. But moving away from that and just speaking to your comment around no errors in elections, however, people have criticized some actions or words or behaviors of some surrogates or principal political candidates. So only yesterday we had the leader of the House of Representatives, majority leader of the House of Representatives, Honorable Dogua, say that he would deal mercilessly with people who voted the opposition. We have had people go on social media. Some people have talked about them being harassed or abusive words used. I would like you to speak to the conduct of candidates, conduct of their surrogates, and what punitive measures can be taken against actions like this.
You know, one of the cardinal value of electoral process is when citizens are given that free will to express their hopes, their interest to how they will want to vote for their choices. And that is protected under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Electoral Act protects it. And I believe by virtue of reasoning, citizens are not going to be gagged on who to vote and who not to vote for. It's criminal for anybody to place anyone under duress or undue influence of anything, either pecuniary or otherwise. But this has always been a spiral issue from all sides of the divide. If you go on the internet, you'll see some groups of obedience, the way they run at anybody opposing their views. At some end also, you go to the PDP, you see how they stand to defend their candidate. And I can't say less that APC too do not have theirs, but there should be some level of morals. There should be some adequate decorum. And this can only be standardized when our law enforcement agents, our regulatory bodies, are all hands must be on deck to see that these issues are critically looked into. But we know that recently the signing of the peace accord the orientation program by the INEC, calling all political parties, also putting them on this whole information and guiding them, have not in any way reduced the potency of these agitations here and there. But in as much as we are still considering that as part of the process, citizens' orientation is very critical. How the media direct and disabuse their followers' mind goes a long way. So meaning these are not just us looking at those that are looking at the Dogowa statement alone. If you look at the Dogowa statement, you still go to statements from the Obi candidate supporters as well. You look at those that are from the Atiku supporters as well. This whole competition is not healthy, though is allowed as part of the process, but there should be some caution. The way it's going somehow is having some connotation of ethnicity in it, is having some connotation of religious animosity in it, and these critical areas, the media needs to play it down more, because beyond election, there is still going to be Nigeria, and after election, there's still going to be Nigeria. So the only project we have as citizens is for us not to throw the whole country into turmoil as a result of us going into the electoral process. But these are critical areas. The National Orientation Agency must be able to point out the laws that are being violated or opinions and how we need to guide the process. Just the way we campaign against COVID-19, I believe our campaign at this critical point in time must be on a peaceful electionary process. And this, I want to believe, yes, I must commend the Arise TV, they're doing great in that perspective, but beyond that, there is a need for a more collective responsibility in guiding the process as regards the information dissemination processes.
Okay, good to see you again, Hassan, after a very long while. Let me put a finger on it for you. The problem is the identity politics that everybody cut across board is playing. And I think this brings to mind the book written in 2018 by a thought leader, Francis Fukuyama, that also wrote the book, about the end of the world in 92 and all of that. Fukuyama was talking about how identity crisis is going to undermine democracy if it's not checked. And it looks as though that identity crisis now is undermining the issues and our democratic, race here. And spread across board, everybody plays identity politics. But the fight of balance between identity politics and democracy is what I want you to speak about, because that's what you're putting the finger on. That's what's happening. Identity politics. If they are not from me, they don't look like me, they'll never be like me. They are against me, they are the devil.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Well, you are saying it as the way all Nigerians are also perceiving the situation. Beyond the identity issue, the issue of morality comes in. Beyond the fact that we're all tied to our views, and this is one of the critical issues that even nobody is insulated, including the media. Sometimes the way some statements are being coined and the way it's being read out seem to be too one-sided most times, and the way some other perceived it, sometimes I listen to some radio analysts, some TV presenters, and they tend to take a grandstand position, which is not very good. So the media needs to also checkmate themselves. Beyond the fact that the citizens' identity problems are there, just wanting to identify with the ideology of their political party. Some might not even have an ideology. Some might just be on the premise of, oh, it's my leader, and they have nothing more to add to it. Some might just be, it's from my tribe. They have nothing more to add to it. Some might just say, it's a Christian or a Muslim, and no content that they are deliberating upon is added onto it. But we must holistically consider that the 2023 election is a new paradigm to our electoral process on how to grow our democracy. Beyond the fact that candidates that are forthcoming this time around yes, have the pedigree, have all what it takes to lead, and beyond how much you have to rate them, they are 100% more better, but some are more better than the others. We must also look at those areas. It doesn't mean for the fact that a whole lot of us have taken stand. Yes, at various fora, I cannot deny the fact that from our own head, we take a stand of supporting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu based on critical indices that we saw, and that led us to taking that position. And it's not on the premise of ethnicity, religious, or political, but we believe economic planning, security should be our collective discourse. So these are critical things that made us to take some of these areas.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Oladotun Hassan. Unfortunately, that's all we can take at this time. Mr. Hassan is Executive Project Director at Lawyers for Reform Group, and he's spoken to us here on Arise News Channel, The Morning Show. It's time now